And my dad was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I got some questions, man. So you said you were crawling behind your dad. Was your dad between you and the deer and you shot over him?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you were a kid. Your
But he
dad.
was on his
Okay.
stomach. I was like, "Oh, like I'm not gonna hit him. I'm like standing over him." But yeah, stupid kid shot over my dad's head.
Good
Uh,
God.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
Join us at a Friends of NRA event where freedom, fun, and firearms come together like nowhere else. With more than 600 events held across the country, there's always one happening near you. From exciting games to exclusive auctions featuring one-of-a-kind firearms and gear you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're a lifelong hunter, a competitive shooter, or simply passionate about defending freedom, there is a seat for you. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you and get ready for a night you won't forget.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we have another great story for you today. Today, we're actually connecting with Chris Schluep. Chris is a lifelong hunter, grew up in Ohio, now he's down in the South, and he's also a listener of the podcast. So we found our little survey, filled it out, we got in touch, and Chris did disappoint. I want to say thank you, of course, Chris, for one, reaching out, but two, for sharing your stories. I know it can be a little intimidating to come out here, but guys, if you have stories, do like Chris, reach out to me. I'd love to hear them. Everybody would love to hear them. Or if you have an old-timer that has some pretty amazing stories, help me get in touch with them. But that's it, guys. Make sure you like, you follow, you subscribe, all of those miscellaneous things. But let's go ahead and kick this thing off now and let Chris tell you some of his stories. Thank you. All right, Chris. Welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm happy you're here. You found me a way I didn't even know people could find me, which is super interesting. Apparently, on my Facebook page, I have a WhatsApp link, and so I got a message from you, and I was like, what is this scammer? Like, I did not think you were a real human. But I'm glad you are, because you want to tell me some hunting stories, and that's my favorite thing in the world, man. So thank you, one, for finding me there, two, for being brave enough to reach out and be willing to share some stories with us, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't you introduce yourself so the folks know who they're hearing stories from today?
All right. My name's Christopher Schluep from Ohio. Currently in the Coast Guard, work on helicopters. And I've been hunting on and off since I was 11. But yeah, like I've mentioned to you in the WhatsApp, listening to this podcast really got me back into it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So where are you originally from? Are you originally from Ohio and stationed there?
No, so I'm originally from Ohio. Started Coast Guard in 2020.
Okay.
I was stationed in Boston. Now I'm down south.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. Who got you into hunting? I assume family. Family did it, and so you ended up just doing it, especially starting at 11?
Actually, no, my dad was never really into it. When I was a kid, he would take me, but we'd more just go nap in the woods and then come back, and eat some lunch and get warm. But my uncle, he did it a good bit. And so once I started doing it more and more, he started taking me.
Very cool, Chris. Very cool. All right, man. Well, you know why we're here. Let's hear some hunting stories. Why don't you set the stage on the first one? I know you got a handful for us.
All right. Like I said, I'd go out with my uncle a good bit, but my dad would take me from time to time. And first one that comes to mind is I was never really successful with the whitetail. But one day, my dad and I, we go out, and the field that we would go in sat on a hill, but it would roll down into a valley. And on one side of the valley was there was like a valley with woods, and the other side was a valley with just fields. And so we make our way up this hill, up on the ridge, and instantly my dad's like, "Oh my gosh, there's like 3 deer over there." And so we get down, and we're about 100 yards out. And all I had at the time was a Youth 20 pump shotgun with slugs.
Okay.
And so my dad starts crawling in front of me on his belly, and I'm like kind of sneaking behind him. And the whole time I'm like, I think I can hit one. And so I shoot up, and I didn't let him know. I was too excited, just a kid.
Okay.
And I let one off, and sure enough, I hit that deer center mass. Hair blow off the thing, and it jumped up and kicked and ran off into the woods. And my dad was, "What the hell are you doing?"
I got some questions, man. So you said you were crawling behind your dad. Was your dad between you and the deer, and you shot over him?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you were a kid. Your
But he
dad
was on his
okay.
stomach. I was like, I'm not gonna hit him. I'm like standing over him. But yeah, stupid kid shot over my dad's head.
God.
Hit a deer. First deer I ever hit. It takes off. We run over there, and we're looking all over the place. And there's hair everywhere, but there's no blood at all.
Interesting.
And we do like a good detailed search all around. We start looking in the woods where it went off. Can't find blood anywhere, not even a little drop. He's like, I saw you hit that thing. So the conclusion, we knew the guy who owned the property. He never saw a dead deer on his property. The conclusion we came up with was I was 90 yards away, and that must be just far enough for a slug to hit a deer but not kill it. And so there's some doe out there with a bald spot on its side. We imagine, because
okay. So your shot,
it.
you're sure it hit it like in the side? It didn't like graze the top or the bottom and just take some fur off from there?
It was dead center from what I remember.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the like max range of a slug is. If someone knows, comment on the episode because I'm curious. Like it sounds like 80 yards if that deer was 90, right?
Yeah. But yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's funny. So let me ask about what your dad said about you shooting over it. Was he too caught up in finding the deer, or did he go, all right, Chris, let's talk about shooting with someone downrange?
Yeah, there was a brief discussion about it, but I think in the excitement we were able to get over it pretty quick. So I wasn't in any trouble, but it was definitely a never do that again sort of conversation.
I believe that. That makes a ton of sense. But yeah, well, that's too bad it got away. I was kind of hoping that you'd have it there, but that's still a funny story. So thanks for sharing, man. Absolutely.
Well, interesting thing is a week later, my uncle takes me to the same property.
Okay.
And so like I said, it rolls down. There's a field, and the grass was pretty high. And we somehow snuck up to a buck that was, I'd say, 10 yards from me. He was close. And my uncle, he got me a Y branch, and it's a buck. And he's probably a 6-point. He's the biggest buck I've seen as a kid, and never been this close to a deer in my life. And the whole time I'm thinking like, well, I know I can hit something at 90 yards, but I'm too excited, and I start shaking, and I got my little Y branch, and then I shoot and completely miss. He's right in front of me, completely miss it. And then I'm like, shoot, and I go to rack another one, but the shell cocks sideways and gets stuck. And I'm like trying to undo it. This deer doesn't run. He just stands up and slowly walks into the woods as I'm fiddling with my shotgun because he knows he's perfectly safe. And my uncle's like, shoot him. And I'm like, I can't get one. And then by the time I got one in, he was gone. Could never find him.
That's a tough season, Chris. That's funny that like freehand, you hit one at 90 yards, 10 yards with a Y stick, something to like bring you down. You got too excited and missed. Hunting's a funny thing where like the circumstances change so quickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What did he have to say about your uncle? Did he have any advice? Any sage advice?
Oh, he couldn't. No, he couldn't believe it.
He was frustrated
because he had heard about the deer the week before, and he just couldn't. He wasn't frustrated, but he was just like, you need to chill out. I
Yeah.
had buck fever as a kid for sure.
Okay. Gotcha. Did you on the first one too, or no?
You talking about that doe?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it was because it was a doe or what, but I remember being perfectly calm on that long shot.
Huh.
I think I was just too much in my head when I was that close to that buck.
Yeah.
But I would
Yeah.
do
I
stupid
feel.
stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like when you have time, like when I'm sitting somewhere and an animal comes up, like that's when I get kind of like, oh shit, because like you know you just get fired up, your adrenaline starts pumping. When I'm like hiking and like I get into animals by like actively going towards them, I'm cool as a cucumber, man. But like something about for me specifically, just being somewhere and the animal coming to me, it fires me up and makes everything
Yeah.
a little bit more difficult. And I start to shake. And like if I'm not cold before, by the time the whole process is done, I'm like so cold that I like can't stop shaking. I don't know what it is. It's just, but good thing I Western big game hunt because I've all the animals I've run up on have been like me attacking them. But every time I've been in a blind with even a turkey, hog, whatever, I'm like, ugh. So maybe that has something to do with what happened to you, man.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
But I mean, I also know that I was a fired up kid who my uncle learned pretty early on that he could only give me one bullet. And if he gave me one bullet, I was fine. But if I had like three or more, like anytime we went squirrel hunting or anything, he'd hand me his Ruger 10-22, but he'd only load one in at a time. And that was the only time I could actually be any good.
Interesting. Do you just like fire off all three, or what happened when you had more than one
Oh
round?
yeah, I was just a dumb kid. Like, oh, I got all the shots in the world, and I just light up trees at squirrels with.
Okay.
And he was like, we're gonna slow down. And now, interesting thing is, I took his son hunting the other day when I was back home, and he's just like you, so don't even load it until you see an animal. And he just handed me his son's shotgun, and we went off in the woods.
That's amazing. How old your cousin?
Oh, he's about 10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. That's funny that your uncle was like, hey, he's just like you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, what else
Yeah.
you got, Chris?
Well,
Let me ask you this real quick. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Is it Chris or Christopher? Do you have a preference?
yeah, either's fine. Just don't call me
Okay.
late for dinner.
Deal, man.
All
All right.
right.
What else you got?
Well, another one comes to mind with my uncle, actually. It was a year or two after that. We were hunting, and, the part of Ohio I'm from, there's a lot of rolling hills and stuff. It's not as flat as the western side. But, so another farm, another hill up on a ridge. We had been sitting in the woods for a moment. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. Walking out of the woods, and my uncle, I don't know how, but he got the seeing a deer. And so we get down, and the deer is on this side, and we're on this side of the hill.
Okay.
So kind of the same thing. We kind of like crawl up. Well, we get to just at the cusp of the ridge, and he's like, "There's a big buck over there, and he's coming towards us." Like he's kind of whispering and stuff to me, and he's like,
Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today.
Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React Technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.
just letting you know, like, it's coming.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do I do? And he's like, he was always good about letting me make my own decisions. He saw it as like, this is your hunt. And so he'd tell me if I was doing something stupid, but he was just like, this is your hunt. Like, you're going to have to make the decision. And so I'm waiting, and I actually was able to like peek my head just over the line of the hill, and I could see a big rack just walking towards me. And so I'm like all shaky and stuff. And to this day, I regret my decision. I stood up and I shot at that thing, and he ran down the hill, and I had missed. And so what do? I go running after the thing and just shooting at this thing going down the hill. Not a single shot. Just a dumb kid.
Yeah. How old were you? Was this the following year, or how old were you at this time?
It was either the following year or a year after that. So I was probably like 13 or 14 that year. So, yeah, just still making dumb decisions. And to this day, I'm like, I should have waited. I know I should have waited.
What so you were with your uncle after it all went down, and he was like, damn it, Chris. Well, what did he say? Did he say something like, how would you have done that different? Or like, did he give you any advice or any feedback on the whole process?
He was basically like, should have waited, huh?
Yeah.
He keeps it simple.
Okay.
It was simple as that. Should have waited.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I tell you what, he took me, I think I was 16 or 17. I finally got my first deer. So I'd been hunting for a while. And there had been other opportunities like that, but it was just making mistake after mistake. And then just, the way I see it is I was just kind of building up experience the hard way. And so
best lessons are self-taught, right?
Right. And so we used to every now and then we would drive deer. We'd break up into a group of guys, and like two would kind of go and kind of pick a spot. The other ones would kind of just comb through the woods and see if they can kick anything up, because some of them like to bed pretty deep. And that first deer I got, my buddy gave me a muzzleloader to use, and he's like, that shotgun's not working for you, and this is one shot. You don't get 3 shells, you get 1 shot. And so use it. And they're driving them. I hear the rustling in the woods. I know something's coming. And all of a sudden, there's a big doe standing right like in front of me, all about 30, 40 yards. And she stops and stares at me. And I pull that thing up and I shoot. And I never shot a muzzleloader. And so now I'm in a cloud of smoke. And when the cloud finally goes away, I'm like, there's no deer. And I've been so used to missing and all that I just put the gun down and I kind of just like sit there, and I'm like, man, I suck at this. Like, why do I even try every year? But my uncle, he was like standing right next to me. He wanted to make sure, he was with me. He said, no, you hit that thing. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no deer in front of me. I thought if you shot a deer, it just falls dead right there. I didn't know they ran off. And so he's like, no, I saw it take its last breath, and then it took off probably like 30 feet and it crashed. And so
what caliber really muzzleloader?
50 caliber.
Okay, yeah. A white-tailed doe, like with a 50 caliber muzzleloader.
Oh,
boom.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it made it 30 yards for sure.
But yeah, it was a great moment. And then leading up to that point, I had been like second guessing myself, like I said, like, is this something I want to do? How am I going to feel when I take the life of something else? Like, what is that all going to be like? And so I'd keep getting in my head up to that point, but I don't know, like skinning that deer and enjoying like the harvest, and I really like appreciated the life of that deer. And I started to realize, like, this isn't just going out and like killing things just for the heck of it. It's like, it's an experience, and starting to appreciate it more. And now that I have kids and stuff, I go out there alone and it is just nice to be in a quiet moment. And just, I really start to, even if I don't see anything, it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
At least I'm out there, and I'm
I didn't think
spending
that's
time
where
with
that was
God.
going.
I'm
But
spending
yes.
time in the woods, and it's just a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I've got a couple kids too, and it is nice to go out there and have that peace and quiet, and not have the regular responsibilities of being a father or mother, if ladies are listening. But I do find, for myself at least, that I'm very introspective when I'm in the woods, without my kids, and I spend a lot of time thinking about them and what I want for them and those things, and that's one of my favorite things about hunting is when I come home, I know that I love my family more because you're with them all the time, so you don't realize how much you love them until they're not there. And so when I come home from every hunt trip, all I want to do is play with my kids and kiss my wife, make more kids. You know the story.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's one of the beautiful things for me is like it doesn't have to be a successful hunt, but it's not often you get to find a day or hours or in the case of elk hunting sometimes a week to just go out and think, which is one of the highly underrated things I think about hunting is the peace and quiet and the thinking you get to do.
Oh yeah, it's truly a gift, and
Yeah.
that quiet time is just, yeah, it's a gift.
Yep, I've been seeing this meme recently where it's like, like church isn't always in, or like, it's like church isn't always in a church, right? And it's just like a picture of a hillside or mountainside or whatever. And I think
Yeah.
there's something true to that, where there's something special about just being out there, something that's deep in our bones that just feels right when there's no buildings and no noise around. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, this past winter, I was able to get some time off, go home for Christmas, and that happens to also be around what is it? The bonus gun season for Ohio.
okay.
And so I was like, "Hey babe, like I don't want anything for Christmas, but if we can get the week before Christmas back home, all I want is to go hunting. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll buy my tag." And the nice thing about if you're a resident in Ohio and you're active duty, then you get you don't have to purchase your hunting license. You just have to purchase your tags.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Hey, all I want for Christmas is a tag." She's awesome. She's like, "Absolutely." And
Yeah.
so I went out and I got to do some hunting this winter, and it was pretty good. We did a little driving. I texted my uncle. I was like, "Hey, I'm coming up to hunt. Um, I don't want to be just sitting in a deer stand or something. I want to actually like be out, feet on the ground." And we did some driving, but I learned, my uncle is he's a good hunter. He's a successful hunter, but he doesn't know absolutely everything like I thought when I was a kid. You
Hopefully
know.
he listens to this and he goes, "Damn it, Chris." But no, that's true. It's true. So when I started hunting, I was with my brother-in-law and his buddy and my father-in-law, and like I thought they knew everything, man, absolutely everything. And I was 30. I wasn't even a naive kid. I was just a newbie. But when I moved to Colorado, started researching because we were all going to pivot our hunt from Washington to Colorado, I realized we didn't know nothing. In fact, like they didn't even walk around with a wind checker. Like you have to have a wind checker if you're elk hunting. And not once did anyone ever have a little puff of smoke to see which direction the wind's going. I mean, we hardly ever saw any animals, but either way, we were just way off base. So it's funny how as you progress in your skill set, you learn that the people that were teaching you were doing their best, but they don't know everything.
Oh yeah, and like that was one of the things. I remember, as I got older and stuff, I started getting to hunting. I was watching I was like, it's been a while since I've done that. I was kind of like watching videos and stuff, like trying to learn. Okay, here's all the things I know I did wrong in the past. Like, what can I get right? And
Yeah.
one of the things the old timers said on a video was, if you get out of your truck and the wind's on your back, and you plan on like going into the woods with the wind on your back, like don't even bother. You're not gonna see anything. And
Yep.
and we got out the side by side, and there's wind on my back. I'm like, hey, like I don't think we're gonna see any deer this way. Like, should we push them towards them? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter when you're driving deer. I was like, think it absolutely matters. And
Yeah.
sure enough, like I saw one, this is like 150 yards in the woods. I could see the outline of one, but there's so many valleys and stuff that they slip out easy. And by the time they got to me, they're like, "You didn't see that deer?" I was like, "I saw that deer. I just didn't have a shot."
Yeah.
They're pretty smart animals.
For sure. All they want to do is stay alive. You can't blame them, right?
Yeah, but so that whole day we went out, we looked around and couldn't find a whole lot, but I ended up just getting out alone and going and sitting. It was the last day that I even had a chance to hunt, and I just went out, sat, and I was like, you know what? If I don't see anything, I'm just going to appreciate this. Kind of like what we were talking about. And so I did a little bit of reading, and I like to do a little bit of praying, and just the way I pray is I just sit there and I just talk to God. And so I was doing a little bit of that and just thanking Him for this opportunity, and if He could bring me a deer, that'd be great. But if not, thanks for this opportunity anyways. And then the sun's starting to set, it's getting dark, and I'm thinking like it's probably time to go. And right when I was about to get up and go, I see something break the tree line, and I think it's a doe, like a big body doe. And instantly, like you were saying, my heart just starts pounding. And I now have for Ohio, you can only shoot straight ball cartridge. So I got a 45-70 single shot, and I cock the hammer back, and I'm just like taking breaths, and I'm just reminding myself, like, don't rush it, slow trigger pull.
Yeah.
You've done this before, you could do it again. Feed your family. And I aim at the thing. His head was a tree or something. So pull the trigger, and it shoots his head up, and it starts to walk away slowly. I'm like, did I miss? Like, even to this day, I know what deer do, and even now I'm like, did I miss? And it takes 5 steps and just falls. And I get up to the thing, and it was actually a big spike. Yeah, it was weird. And the funny thing is, I was like, my uncle was boiling skulls. I was like, I know it's weird, but I kind of think this would make a cool Euro mount. And he boiled it, and when he gave it back to me, he's like, it looks like a goat. like a big goat skull or something. Yeah. But I was surprised, he even came up to me, he's like, that's bigger, because I had shot a spike before, and when I was a kid and I shot a spike, I brought it home. My dad said, what do you shoot, the neighbor's dog? Like, it was a tiny little thing. I was a scrawny kid. I had a thing over my shoulder, but no, this was a decent sized deer. And I call him up. I text him because he was actually hunting with his son. Okay. And so he was far enough away, he didn't hear the shot. So I was just texting him, hey, I got one. Whenever you're able, can you come help me haul this thing back home? He had to side by side. And I'd actually packed. I like to smoke pipe tobacco, so I packed that in my breast pocket in case I got some. And I'm shaking because I'm cold, but also I'm excited. So I'm just smoking my pipe, just shaking. He shows up. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
And
running an outdoor business is a grind. One day you're glassing ridgelines or running dogs. The next you're tuning gear or working to keep the land wild. And somewhere in between, you're expected to fill calendars, move product, and keep your name alive. That's where the Ignite Marketing Group comes in. They work with outfitters, gear brands, and conservation groups to tell your story the way it deserves to be told, and to put it in front of the people who live for this lifestyle. Imagine a website that doesn't just sit there but actually books hunts. Imagine campaigns that don't feel like ads but like a buddy passing along a tip. Imagine your story reaching more hunters, anglers, and outdoor enthusiasts who get it and who want it. That's what Ignite does. No gimmicks, no flash, just real growth for people who belong in the outdoors. Don't just market, ignite it. Learn more at ignitemarketinggp.com/outdoors.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. It was just good to be out, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I have a funny story. You mentioned smoking out of a pipe. I've only done that once. It was on my bachelor party. We're on, I want to say it was Lake Washington, in Washington, and my buddy's got me a corncob pipe, and I'm sitting there with, I think I even have a top hat, right? So like I look like a complete idiot. But we're cruising along on this boat, and we're hauling pretty quick because we got a place to be. I don't remember why specifically, but what I remember about that pipe, and this is not hunting related at all, but the airflow of the boat moving made that corncob pipe a little ball of lava, and it caught fire, the whole damn thing, because there was so much air, so much oxygen going into the pipe that it just like started glowing, and then all of a sudden, when like caught on fire, almost caught my hat on fire. I was like, "Holy!"
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So don't smoke a corncob pipe in a strong wind is the lesson of today's episodes. Yeah.
All right.
So unrelated, but you made me think of that.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that in years. It's been, I've been married for 11 years, so it's been a long time. But yeah, man, that's a wonderful story. I love it. And I like your uncle. I think he's a pretty, he sounds like he's a very dry, mild sense of humor, but he sounds like he's a fun guy to hang out with.
Absolutely. He is one of the calmest people I know.
Yeah.
And so
I believe it.
And that's something that everyone in the family, like, he's just so calm and
Yeah.
nobody, doesn't get worked up about anything. But yeah, love him.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Good trait for a hunter too. But yeah, what else you got, Chris? Keep going. Keep them coming, man. This is fun.
So this was this past winter that happened.
Okay.
The winter before, I found out that rabbit season is in around that time as well.
Okay.
So I texted my uncle because he had a buddy who had rabbit dogs. I was like, hey, like, I'm coming home. I just bought a new shotgun. Can we go rabbit hunting? And he sets it up. We go out, and I don't know if you ever hunted with dogs. It is one of the funnest things that I've ever done.
I've heard that. I've got some
It's
open
so
invites
much
that I
fun.
need to take up on because it sounds so great.
You gotta
Yeah.
do it. I got a coon story after this, but yeah, I don't know what it is, man. It's, you don't have to be as quiet. You're out there, you're a little quiet, but you're able to just like chat with your buddies, and then just like dogs just start going, and you just get all like flustered and excited.
You start running, everybody's running. That's what I imagine.
You run, or they'll bring them to you. It's just a good time. And so we're out there. We're on his property. He's got a lot of thick brush, and we're rabbit hunting. And the dogs are going crazy. They're bringing rabbits towards us. But I'm trying to be mindful because my cousin's there, and his cousin, who's 7. No, he's 6. And this 6-year-old is, I remember in a couple episodes back, you were talking about Coulter Wall, how he looks young, but he's like an old soul. No.
Yeah.
This 6-year-old is a 70-year-old man. I'm surprised he didn't have like a can of Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, we're riding a little rabbit trail of my own. We're riding in the back of the truck, and he looks over to my cousin Judd. He's like, Judd, hand me over my hot cocoa, will you? And like, he hands him over this big old green Stanley thermos, and he's like pouring himself a cocoa, and I was like, what the heck, man?
That's too
This
funny.
kid's all right. So I'm trying to be mindful of my shots. There's rabbits all over the place, and there's a couple times I could have shot, but like I thought I'd let the kids try and stuff like that. No dice. Rabbit goes in a hole. We get another one going. We're in the woods, and I'm talking to my buddy Jake, and he's behind me, and his dogs. They run him 20 yards from me. We're in the woods, but 20 yards from me, there's a little bit of brush. I fire off a shot. Rabbit runs away. I'm like, what the heck? And so he's like, it's all right, man. Like, this stuff's so sick. Let's just keep walking. So we're walking, and now we're in a little more open section. And it's probably like another like 15 or 20 yards. There's another rabbit, like wide open, no trees. I shoot, rabbit runs away. He's like, dude, let me see that shotgun. And he like takes it and he's looking at it. He's like, this is a good gun. Where are you aiming? I was like, putting the bead on the rabbit. That's how you shoot them, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, they're stalked. Like, I shouldn't have to shoot in front of them or anything. He's like, yeah. I'm like, and I grabbed steel shot, so I know that's good.
Yeah.
He said, what? I said, it's steel shot, right? Like, that's good stuff, right? I don't want to pick lead out of my rabbits. He's like, buddy, steel shot is the government's way of ensuring that you don't kill anything. Lead, buddy, lead. Steel doesn't penetrate. He's like, that explains a lot, actually, because I saw something bounce off the trees, and I didn't know what it was. It was your steel BBs, man. And so that whole one was a bust. He calls up. He's like, we're done. He's got no good ammo. And so we set up the next weekend. We go out. He's like, don't you bring any of that stuff. I will give you ammo. And
what range did you shoot that rabbit at that you didn't hit?
It was like, maybe it was like 30 yards.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure even with steel,
I would think
you
that
could.
Steel would do, but he claims that
I would
it's not
too.
good
I would too,
enough.
especially because rabbit have such thin skin. Like,
Right?
I think it would be enough. I just think that maybe you're a bad shot.
I mean, maybe. Maybe. Well,
I'm just playing with you, man. All right, keep going. Sorry. I saw the opportunity.
I've missed before, but so we go out and long story short, we don't get anything. We saw one, but he was behind me. By the time I turned around, it was gone. And so he's like, I'm sorry, man. Like, it's whatever. Well, I drive back. We're staying with my in-laws. And I get back, and my wife was like, how was it? I was like, didn't get anything. But, it's fun hanging out with my uncle and Jake, getting to talk to him again and stuff like that. And I said, but if you don't mind, I remember last week when I first went, I got up at like 5 a.m, still dark, and I saw a rabbit across your parents' road. And I think I know where it's hiding on this property. Would you mind if I just go out for another like 20 or so minutes? And if anything, I'll get some squirrels because I love eating squirrel. Most people don't like them. My dad's like, I don't understand why you eat those things. They're just rats in trees. But I don't know. I like them. So I go out and first I start hunting some squirrels. I get 2. And then I go out into the brush and I jump a rabbit. No dogs or anything. And I shoot it dead because I had finally purchased some lead. And so now I got 2 squirrels and a rabbit, and I take a picture of them all laid up against each other, kind of spooning. And I send them to Jake and my uncle. And I said, you guys can't hunt for crap. Like, just boasting this stuff.
Blaming them, yeah.
And he said, no way did you actually get one. That's insane. So, and then I taught my in-laws how to like skin those up. And we made some rabbit, and I mixed them all up, rabbit and squirrel sliders for New Year's. And so,
delicious.
Good time. They were the talking point of the party.
I bet. Probably had anyone there had squirrel before, or was squirrel new to everybody?
There was probably one guy who had it
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and we were extra careful to get all the lead out. But
Smart.
yeah, it's a good the way I do them. I've tried every way of cooking squirrel, and I've never been able to. I've fried them; they end up too chewy or such. But I found out if you put them in a pressure cooker
Okay.
and you let the meat fall off the bones, and then you take that, debone it all, put it in some tin foil with some like Sweet Baby Ray's, salt and pepper,
Okay.
and then throw that on the grill with some Hawaiian sweet rolls. It's one of the best sandwiches I've ever had.
That sounds pretty good. Kind of like a sloppy Joe, kind of
Yeah.
pulled pork, pulled squirrel, sloppy Joe
sandwiches.
kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
That sounds delicious.
Yep.
Sign me up,
So
man.
good.
I'm coming. All right, man.
Yep.
Well, these are some fun little stories. What else? I feel like we're bumping up on present time. What else do you got?
So, one more comes to mind at least.
Okay.
And it was when I went coon hunting for the first time. It was really the only time. And I got to reach out and see if I can get him to take me again. But same story. As far as dogs, it's just a fun time.
Yeah.
But we go out and they let the dog loose, and we're just kind of like walking around. And I'm like, so do we follow the dog or what? And he's like, no, it'll holler, and then I got a tracker on its collar, and we'll know when it trees something. And sure enough, 20 minutes later, dog starts howling. We walk a good bit, not quite a mile, but we walk a good bit, and
Okay.
finally get up to this big old sycamore tree. And he shines spotlight up in the tree. There's two little beady eyes staring down at us. And so he gives me the 22. And this is back, I was probably like 18. I shoot the thing, and it wasn't a great shot. I hit him across the stomach, like kind of across the chest. And the
Okay.
thing, I promise you, spins around the tree and starts climbing up. And there's a blood trail up the tree. He said, shoot it again. He's not going to fall out. They're tough. And so I shoot this thing in the head. I promise you, in the head, falls out of the tree, hits the ground. I'm like, well, cool, we're done. The dog goes over and sniffs the raccoon, and it gets up and starts fighting the dog.
No way.
It, on its back legs, just fighting this dog. And he's like, give me the 22. And he shoots it again, and the thing died. But those things are nasty.
Yeah.
They're tough little creatures. And I've gotten into trapping and stuff, and I've done a little trapping down here for some friends of mine, mostly just people that a buddy of mine had some koi, and they had a freeze down here, and big old fat raccoon was eating his koi, so I trapped it for him, stuff like that. But I do not. I make sure they're dead. And I shot that one in the head, and I waited like 3 minutes, and I poked it with a stick a couple times. So I'm not going to take it out of the trap until I know it's dead for sure. Because I saw this thing get hit in the head and fight a dog.
Dude, raccoons are crazy, man. First off, they're always eyes are always on you when you're out there in the middle of the night.
Absolutely.
But man, my buddy Jason, him and I went elk scouting, and he showed me a video, and it's like a police officer and a rabid raccoon, and the police officer shoots it, and the raccoon's just flipping around like crazy. So she shoots it again. The video's been taken down because it is pretty violent, but this lady just keeps walking up to the raccoon, and it keeps going crazy, and she keeps just unleashing on it. Probably put like 7 rounds into that thing, and it just kept coming. And you can hear the commentary, and they're like, what's wrong with it? Is it a zombie? Like, people didn't understand how this thing could keep kicking after she put round after round after round in it. I'd say I'd share the video to my socials, but it actually got removed from wherever we found it. So maybe somebody else can find it and send it to me. But man, raccoons are nasty little critters that can raise some hell, man.
Oh, I don't mess with them. I don't mess with them, and then I don't think I'll ever mess with a mink. I trapped one of them one time on accident, and I I brought it to my uncle, a different uncle. I said, what do I do with it? He said, well, you got to kill it, man. We got chickens and stuff. And because we both kind of sat on the same acre, and we both had chickens. He's like, you don't want that thing getting in and killing our chickens. And I looked at the thing, and I was like, oh, no, it's kind of pretty, though. And it stares up at me and just starts going, like, screaming so loud and, like, attacking the cage and stuff. I said, give me the 22. And I had to kill the thing because I was, like, not going to let that thing out of the cage.
Yeah.
And later
you
I
hear
found
something?
out. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Later I found out between a mink, a bobcat, and a cougar, like, if you were to cross any of those in the woods, the mink is the one you don't want to because the other two, they don't like humans. They'll kind of stay away.
Yeah, they'll run.
The mink will size up anything.
I did not know that, man. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I will stay away from minks. But you bring up cougars. Here's what I was going to tell you. I've had some trappers on in the past, and they shared some videos with me that they couldn't share, and I couldn't then share out to social media or anything like that. But when you're trapping in a lot of the western states, if you trap something that's illegal to trap, cougar, bobcat, etc., you have to release it. Those are the laws, and you have to check your traps every day. So you go every day. They put out a trap line. They'll go check all their traps, and it's not uncommon for they're there before work to have a cougar like in their trap. And so you got to, and these things are, I will say the cougars are exhausted because they've been fighting this trap for hours and hours by the time you find them. But I've seen some pretty crazy videos of guys having to get cougars out of a claw trap. Not even like a cage trap where they can like open the door and it runs out. It's a claw trap that they got to like pry this thing open on this cat's foot, and the cat is not having it, man. So yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Chris, man, this was fun. Do you you got any more, or are we wrapping it here? If you don't have any off the top of your head, that's all right.
More.
Just keep getting into the woods. I know you said that you've been kind of reinvigorated with hunting. Get out there some more, man. Have some more fun. Get some more of that quiet time and come back again, man, with some more stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying down here, buddy. The thing I've learned about the South is some people offer some things, but it's more of just to be polite, not an actual genuine offer. Because I've been offered a couple times, but I know this guy a little better. He said he'd take me out pig hunting, so we'll see.
That'd be fun, man. It's like what do they say about people in the South when they say "bless your heart"? Yeah. That's not what they're saying, right? No. That's not what they're saying. Well, Chris, bless your heart, brother. I'm not from the South, so I mean it. But you want to share any socials, or do you want to walk off into the sunset? Your call.
Sure. The only one, I'm not really a big social media guy. I do have Facebook Messenger, and I'm only sharing that because hopefully next year I'll get orders to Alaska. Not sure yet, but if I do, if anyone wants to reach out and take me under the wing, I would love to do some big game hunting out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cool. Well, what is it? Just your name, I'm assuming. Chris Schluep?
Chris Schluep. That's it.
Okay. Perfect, man. All right, Chris. Well, thanks so much for coming on, man, sharing your sharing your stories on the podcast. And, of course, for listening. I appreciate that as well. And then for being brave, man. I think there's a lot of people out there with some great stories that are intimidated by just reaching out and then coming on and recording some stories. So I appreciate the fact that you took that step and got in touch with me, man. I do.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, brother. Well, have a great day, and thanks again. All right, folks, that's it. Another couple stories in the books. I want to thank Chris again for coming on the podcast, taking his time to reach out in the first place, and remind you listeners, if you have a great story to tell, we would love to hear it. Beyond that, guys, check us out on YouTube. We recently started publishing some of the actual videos on there, and I'll try and keep up with that. It triples the amount of work, but let's see what we can do. Hopefully, at this point, I'm stepping out of the elk woods, and I have a new story for you for the 2025 elk season. But guys, that's it. Give us a like, a review. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Share with one person. And other than that, get out there and make some stories of your own. Thank you.